Hi, I'm Max. I'm a front-end developer, so I'm not a node.js developer. And I'm here to talk to you about the project I've been working on, which is Liwe. It's an open source remote control for web applications. So, before everything, this is a warning. This talk is not really technical compared to the others. It's subject to troll, and a lot of Node.js code has been harmed in the making of this project. I'm really sorry. So here is Liwe. So as I said, it's an open source for remoting for your web applications. How this started? It started like a year ago when I discovered this project, which is called techy by Sami Press. Apparently, it's two guys who, during a hackathon of 24 hours, they created a Node service which allow you to download and watch any movie via torrents, and they stream it directly into your browser, which is very cool. But to control it, you can use directly your phone as a remote. And I found it really very interesting. So my idea was like, oh, that's cool, let's create my own. That's me being silly. And because it's not really complicated, it's just a Node server, a few sockets, and you can run this shit. So this is a process of how it went during the following weeks. So first, you start. You define the protocol. So okay, it's supposed to talk like this between the servers, the remote. Okay. After you set up a Node repo, and you realize it's not that easy because you need to buy a server, you need to install Node, do all the rest, be sure it doesn't crash and everything. You need to choose which package you use. You can recognize the background with libraries.io. You sketch a remote app. You choose which framework to use to build it. You make it responsive because, of course, at the start it doesn't work very well. You build a client for the web app. You debug. You realize in some cases are missing. So you come back to the protocol, define it. You debug again, because of course I pass a lot of time debugging. You make the Node server cleaner, especially for me because I'm not a Node.js developer. You debug again. You discover that you're not handling correctly the disconnection. So you come back on code session, you go crazy, you cross the castle, you kill the boss, you realize that your princess is in another castle. This is shit. Whoa. It sucks. So, from this, I realized it sucks for many reasons. First, because it needs conception. And remoting and handling disconnection or having more and more remoting on the same web app is not something that everybody is happy with. So it needs conception. Of course, if you need conceptions, you need time. If you need time, it's getting boring. And also something which make me angry, you require a server. It's not something you can just use a file system like Python HTTP server and you run it. You need a proper Node server. So I realized there's probably something to do with it. Something accessible for noobs. Why for noobs? Because actually if you say to a guy who just do jQuery all day and doesn't know anything about Node or anything, if you ask him, would you like to do something with a smartphone to remote your app? He would say, yeah, it's amazing, but I absolutely don't know how to do it. So I was thinking maybe it would be great to make it accessible for noobs. Second point, I would like to make it also to use the most of the smartphone sensors. If you come back on the slide I showed you before for techy, the guy just made an app. I mean, if you look at the app, there's up, down, left, right. I mean, it's a bit of a shame because in JavaScript we can access the gyroscope, we have touch events, we have a camera, we have so many things that actually limiting the remoting to just faking across, it's a bit of a shame. And of course, open source, because I like it. So here's my plan. A Node server right in the middle, right here. Because actually a good Node server can handle a lot of WebSockets, and it's a bit of a shame to create your own while actually we could share the same. And after, you've got your web app, where you can insert my script, and once you insert my script, it will start to communicate with the server. The server will give you back a URL, and this URL will be displayed on your web app that people can connect with a phone. and the server will be the guy in the middle to make the connection. Nothing crazy. So the server. Server is on Node.js, of course, otherwise I wouldn't be there. It's built with Express and Sock.js. And at the moment, Liwe.co is hosting the project. The web app. So what you're supposed to develop. No plugin, no server, just JavaScript with a lovely API. I will come back on this later. I think for me, having an API which is very easy to use is extremely important. We'll come back on this later. The API. So how it works. You just insert the script from my server, because you need something to start. Second point, you need to create a Liwe object. So Liwe objects take two parameters, a key, depending on the domain you're starting your project, and the maximum of remote you want to have on your web app, because you can have more than one smartphone connected to your web app. Second point, you need to listen for the connection. So once you're connected, you will get an info object which contains the URL to display for your users. Then after, you will wait to get new remotes, and that's the most interesting. Once you get a remote, you have to set a UI. So you've got three different kinds of UI. You've got one, it's a simple button. Another one which is getting all the touch events from the smartphone, and the last one is using the gyroscope. Once you've set up the UI, you can listen for events, and you will receive data from this remote. So, for example, if we've got two remotes connecting, I will know every time you press the button, and I can do whatever I want once you press. So, for example, this is how the remote for the button looks like. So once you connect, you've got the button appearing, and you can press the button and receive the event. So once again, for the final users, so the one you're going to use the smartphone, no app to install, because I think it's not really compatible with an open source project. If you create some code, but you need to send it to Apple to have your own version of the app, it doesn't work. Simple, no form, no registration, just a URL. This is purely HTML. The point is, if you have, for example, for an event, you have a screen with a slideshow, and you want people to connect and use their phone to control the slideshow. You don't want people to come, they say, okay, I need to install the app. Okay, so you go to the App Store, you find the app, you type your password. I'm already bored, to be honest. So I prefer to go to my browser, I type the URL, and I'm connected. I have nothing else. So this is the default. You see, for example, this is a gyroscope, and I've got a pigeon in 3D on my screen. So we've got the first one, which is the simple button. The second one is touch events, and the last UI is the gyroscope. And as I said earlier, we could use much more of the sensors. We could use, for example, file upload. We could use a microphone or the webcam to get the video. We could use a GPS to get the location of the users. You can also use the input from the keyboard if you want to type something. I know on Firefox you can get the vibrator, and I know it's in discussion to get the light sensor from your phone to know if you're in a light environment or not. So there is a lot to do from this. So now the dark side of my project, because it's not really a rainbow part. So first, no proper protocol defined. So if you go into the repo, you can check that I've defined the protocol, but I'm not really following it properly. I'm a bit like Microsoft and Internet Explorer. It's a bit of a shame, you know? I'm using all packages for Node.js. I'm still using Express 3 and probably a node.js. I know I need to fix this. The lack of flexibility and component. So for example, if you go on GitHub right now and you check my project, it's just one full massive repo. It's not like, okay, I just want the piece to make the server. I just want the remote. No, you can't. So I need to work on this. Massive lack of security. So if you remember earlier, once you get the script, it's in HTTP, not HTTPS. Okay, so maybe not for long actually. I don't know where it is. So there's this, and I don't know if I'm doing the socket correctly. And no it retest no unit and it will test. That irritates me a lot because I like to have a nice piece of code which is tested and we can contribute and be sure we don't break anything. This is why I need your help. Not by contributing directly, but just even the feedback. As long as it's constructive. I mean, I understand that you want to come and say, oh, it doesn't work, or something like this. But if you just explain why, it would be great, or how to improve, or new ideas, I would be very grateful. This makes me very happy. So now, I'm going to try a demo. It's a very stupid idea of mine, but let's try. So, to make the demo, what I wanted to think is, for example, I've used Reveal.js to make this slideshow. And if you check the Reveal.js documentation, you can find it somewhere. Yes, you've got an API, which is you can control if you go to left, right, up, down. So I was thinking, maybe you could use my remote to control the slideshow. So I've got, no, it's not this, a demo. So if we go to the demo, oh, yeah. Hey, please nothing bad pop up. Localhost, demo. So you see, it's just a simple Reveal.js. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to implement Liwe into this demo. So fail here. I try to make it bigger. Can you see? Yeah. Yeah, it's okay. So let's try. First, we need to insert the script. So source http://liwe.co/api/liwe.js. Sorry. Once we got this, we can start the script. So the magic starts with initiating a new object. So var my Liwe is equal to new Liwe. So we need a key. So yes, as I said earlier, you need a key. If you want one, you just need to go on the website, you ask for one. The only thing you need to give is a domain, because every key is related to a domain. So mine is I suck at writing good node.js. It should be something like this. And max remote con, let's say just for one, because we don't need more. Otherwise, many people are connected, they do anything, this is great. So, once I've got my object, I want to know what's happening. I want the URL to let people get connected. So, my Liwe on. So, let's say connect. Console.log. So yeah, I just do a console. I don't want to make a proper pop-up or anything like that. Go on. Info.url should be good. So let's try first this. Yes, good, because you are. Let me try to do. Yep. So, once we got this, we are just waiting for a new remote to put the UI we want, and we can control the slideshow. So, my Liwe dot on, and I want to listen for a new remote. Once we got the new remote, so once we arrive here, it means we've got the remote. So it's a kind of JavaScript object which represents a user. So once I've got the remote, I want to set the UI touch. And we can even put a message at the bottom, like swipe screen. Up. So once we've got this, I need to listen for the event, because I need to get the data. So my remote app.on. Touch swipe. So we've got the entire API in the wiki of the repo. Written in a very awful English, I'm sorry about this. I'm just good at writing JavaScript, not good to write English. Function. So event. And once we are here, I should have the direction. So let's say something like switch case on e.direction. So direction will be where I'm going, if it's left, right, up or down. So let's do a case of left. So if I do left, so if I swipe my phone to the left, I would like to have the slideshow going to, going to the right. I want the slideshow to go to the right. No, going to, I can do it, sorry. If I swipe to the right, I want the slideshow to go to the left. Yes, so that's a problem. We need to make it opposite. So let's do it. Reveal dot right. And I can do a break. And I will do something very disgusting. Sorry for you guys. I'm going to do copy paste for all the directions. It's boring. Up. So in case of right, I want to go to the left. If I want to go up, I want to go down. It's disgusting, I know. If I want to go down, I want to go up. Good. Should be good now. One thing is missing. The thing is, make the magic start. Liwe connect. And now we should be good. So if we save and we come back to our demo, we can refresh. So as long as nobody goes before me. Not that I will hate you, but... So, you see, even this, typing a URL, it's already quite boring. So can you imagine installing an app and trying to... Oh, no. So I'm connected. And if I go there... Yeah. It's not really reactive, it's very crazy. Yeah, depending on the network you are, it can be extremely awful. But I'm working on this. So yes, and also, this is why, you see, when you handle disconnection, when you have another service doing it for you, it's easier, because if I quit now, sorry, but the app is disconnected. You don't need to worry about this. So, I can finish the demo. Okay. So, I didn't fail. So yes, my point was about accessibility. So please mind the gap between the noob and the node.js dev. Why I'm saying this is because something like this is very awesome. I mean, this is the principle of having a smartphone to control a web app. The problem of it is it's not very accessible for people who doesn't know Node or sockets or anything like this. The problem is these people got ideas and creativity too, and what they can do with it can be amazing. And what I was saying earlier about having a good API, which is very important, is because the API is everything at some point. I think a lot of people started to learn JavaScript by jQuery. Not because jQuery is better or whatsoever, it's just because jQuery is just extremely easy to use. It's something like so easy that anybody can start with. And after people jumped on jQuery, on JavaScript. This is why. That was my only point. So thanks everybody. If you want to have a look, you can go on github/liwe. Join the conversation on GitHub. Awesome. And if you want to ask for a key, you can go on liwe.com. Any question? Yes.
Sorry, question. What does Liwe mean?
Nothing. I'm sorry. Yes. I can do it in a very bad English, like let's interact with everything. It's awful. Oh gosh, I need to stop. Yes, no, nothing. I just need something very short, like 4 letters, a domain.co, so 2 letters. Like that when you type the URL is very short. Because something like The very amazing web app which work with Node.js to make sockets in your webapp.com, I think users will be very disappointed to use it. I just need something very short, that's it. But think fast. Yes?
Can it talk to things which are running on the server as opposed to things which are running in the browser?
How come? Sorry.
So you've got a phone, and that's the UI. Can
Yeah.
the UI control your node server as opposed to something running in a browser talking to your node server? So could you maybe control like a robot or a mail server?
We should get this. We need maybe to talk to this after. I'm sorry, I don't really see. Maybe with another API implementation, we could probably, because just using sockets. So yeah, should be alright. But maybe not right now. Good. I like this. Thanks.